to make it so. I want the key.
Hey everyone, we hope you enjoyed that sweet corn. We believe it's corn introduction.
I think it is corn.
We didn't even want to research
it's not
it because
sweet. It
wasn't even worth the attempt to search it and figure out on the internet. I'm Eric Norris alongside Joey Davidson here.
Hello.
We're playing Silent Hill Downpour, which just released for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yes.
So, Joe, you have absolutely no familiarity with the Silent Hill franchise.
My Silent Hill knowledge starts and stops at the cosplayers at conventions that wear the nurse thingy and the pyramid thingy.
Okay, so you know your names.
I know. I'm pretty good there.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, I am familiar with the Silent Hill series, for better or worse. I've played the first two pretty excessively, and we're picking up this game, the new one here, maybe like 30 minutes into it. Basically, the first 30 minutes are a lot of cinematics, a lot of like build up. Basically, you play this character that's completely new to the Mass Effect. Wow, we've been talking about Mass Effect so much. The Silent Hill universe. His name is Murphy. He's a convict that was being transported to a new prison. The convict bus gets overturned right outside Silent Hill. Probably because of all the fog, and they don't see a giant hole in the road. Yeah. He escapes and wanders into Silent Hill, and then starts turning pictures to do puzzles.
Something about a vortex coming.
I haven't run into many like confrontations yet outside the aforementioned vortex that chases you down, and you basically have to tip things over to stop it.
Yeah, we kept going after we finished recording, or I kept going while Eric was doing computer things. Yeah. I wound up fighting something.
Some zombie-esque creature, but it wasn't.
I just hit her with my gun 3 times and she was done.
Yeah,
but literally hit her with my gun.
Because we're out of bullets.
Because I was shooting them randomly into a dead dog.
That's pretty much what we're doing in this like 15-minute demo. Basically, is all of this work we're putting in is just to get a handgun. Yeah. And that's very indicative of Silent Hill in general.
Well, no, I think the most indicative thing is that we don't even know we're getting a handgun. No. Like, we basically stumble upon these clues, and then we finally get things solved, as you'll see, and then we're like, oh.
Like, we're doing puzzles that rank up there with Nathan Drake and his giant treasures, and our treasure to come is just like a measly handgun with like 7 bullets. And that's pretty much Silent Hill in a nutshell. The first 30 minutes that I played before we started recording felt nothing like Silent Hill. And that a lot of that has to do with when I picked up old Silent Hill games, I was scared shitless from moment one. Like, I never knew what was going to go on. With this one, it's more of a slow build with some thriller aspects, and not a whole lot of like scares. They try to jump scare you with slamming doors or boulders falling.
I'll tell you what, even meeting my first adversary, like while I'm sitting here and playing, like that in the first thing, not scary at all, like in any sense. And I guess she looks creepy from there.
I'm going to interrupt you there. Right now, we're running from the vortex thing. The vortex thing is back. It is trying to chase us down, and we're running circles around this little cage.
Finding valves that we have to turn here.
In order to get free. But yeah, so the game is basically, after that first initial 30 minutes that felt nothing like Silent Hill, it still hasn't picked up and become scary, but the gameplay now feels very much like Silent Hill, where you're searching, you'll find a key, and it's just like, hey, this is a motel key, and until you search the entire town that you can get to, and figure out that it goes to a motel door 3 blocks down, like, you just kind of wander around and hope you stumble across the next step in the puzzle.
I am going to jump in. You saw Eric kind of stutter right in front of that doorway, and this is a very long staircase. But
we have plenty of time to talk.
A lot of times the game will jump visually. You'll see it a few more times in this demo, but it'll just like, the camera will just jump because you hit a loading sequence. When you're being chased by the vortex, it happens. Yeah. So Eric had to like stutter in front of that door.
I thought I was dead. Yeah. I thought I was going to be dead.
And it's just that the game popped and had a loading.
Yeah, there's a few other instances of that where like we even thought it was tipping us off to clues. But we think it's just the game stuttering and the camera like jittering up, and we thought, that was tipping us off to something.
This was the point when I told Eric, hey, wait a minute. these stairs I don't think are ending. And Eric goes, I don't know, man. Silent Hill has some weird shit.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
So we pretty much run just for a while. So enjoy this nice visual of the same thing repeating until finally you see us just stop and have that moment like, what if we go backwards?
Yeah.
So that's coming up. While we get to that, I also want to say in the first 30 minutes or so, and we don't hit it here in the demo. Oh, there we go. There are some choices that you can make in the game.
Sorry, I just saw us stop. Think about turning around and going, no, that's definitely not what we want to do. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
All
right, so there's moments where you get to make a choice.
Uh-huh.
Save a person, don't save a person.
Right.
I've only run into one of those examples thus far in the game. Basically, this police lady, has made it out of the crash as well, and you're trying to escape or climb up a rock face, and she's like shimmying along the rock face saying, hey, stop right there, like, don't make any sudden moves or anything, and then she slips and catches onto the ledge, and it presents you with a choice: save her, walk away. And I pick save her. Immediately you pick save her, he takes one step forward, and then she falls anyway. So I was just like,
choices,
yeah.
quote unquote,
in quotation marks. So there we go, we finally figured out that the steps actually you just go backwards, and this brings us back to an earlier point, and we actually just jumped ahead a little bit because we do a lot of wandering around in this house for a while to figure out what's going on.
Shit, we need to go. I mean, we have been in the basement and we've explored the first floor, and it's nothing but dead ends.
So this is Silent Hill in a nutshell. You pretty much just like scour every inch of every place and hope you stumble across like what you're supposed to do next. So we ventured upstairs. Now we're kind of trying to figure out what we assume something has to be up here because nothing was in the basement that we could do. So let's see.
If you tell the truth,
we're coming up on like a little bit of
you don't have to remember anything.
Yeah, well, we've got a little bit. So, but I mean, one thing that I was noticing about the game is that it's very much like. Do you remember when you were playing LA Noire, and towards the end of that experience, investigating crime scenes just boiled down to walking around until you could interact with something?
Absolutely.
That's what this is like. It's like we hit a point where no longer were we doing things because they made sense or didn't make sense. We were doing things just waiting for a tip-off, waiting for the green, like, use this item or pick up or whatever to pop up. That, in my opinion, is a fundamental problem with this type of gaming.
And you basically just hit the nail on the head with all previous Silent Hill games.
You're just walking, you literally walk around and push yourself up against the wall so that you hit the perimeter of the room. Every single room. That's all we did.
Fun story is I played through Silent Hill 2 completely with a good close friend of mine with the strategy guide sitting right next to me. So we basically double teamed the entire game with him just reading off basically exactly where I had to go and how to solve exact puzzles, because otherwise I would have given up on the game.
Oh, I totally...
long ass time
and
before
we said this
it.
while we were fucking around. I was just like, if it were me playing this game just by myself and for fun, I would have said this is stupid and just walked away.
Yeah.
I do not like the mechanic of walk around until you hear something ding and then go.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really dislike that.
And it's, as you put it, it's small victories. Like, all of this just to get a handgun, or, you do this big elaborate puzzle just to get a key that opens up something far away.
So, yeah, this is the first time that we interact the puzzle. We're going to do another jump cut here because Eric and I figure out how to operate the puzzle, but we haven't figured out how to, like, what combination we need. So, we keep going upstairs and we try to figure out where the fuck we need to go and what we need to do.
Maybe if we have something in our little notepad here.
We didn't. Spoiler alert.
We do not. I was just kind of flipping through maps and shit,
yeah,
hoping maybe there was a number like penned in on somewhere.
Yeah. So, but I really don't like the whole... I wish that there was a way in survival horror games specifically where you would be able to deduct these things. I think it's a fundamental problem that you can't. And that it's basically, it all comes down to whether or not you walk over the right spot in a room and find an object to pick up.
Yep.
Like, there's no deductive reasoning happening right now. You and I are just walking around.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing to it. And I think that honestly is my fundamental problem with the genre.
Yeah.
There was a bit of that in Resident Evil Revelations for the, not Revelations, God, I can't remember. But the...
What system was it for?
3DS, yeah.
Wasn't that Revelations?
Was it?
I think so, because they misspelled Revelations.
Oh, that's
on the
right.
box.
Revelatons.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of that in Resident Evil.
Yeah. It's like it was to the point where I was literally just recanvassing areas over and over again because I missed something.
Well, I mean, even the early Resident Evil games, 1, 2, and 3, like, it was all just finding ridiculous keys the Sparrow key that's used in the Sparrow door, 4 buildings down.
There was a lot of that in Revelations for the 3DS too, and I think, like I said, I think it's a flaw with the genre, and it might even be a flaw with the Japanese game design for the genre.
No.
Because I mean, these are all Japanese developed games.
Yeah.
And I think that if you think about BioShock, for instance, which is obviously a Western horror-esque game, this is us actually finally solving the puzzle. We found that code with the Steam thing that...
Yeah, that... Like, once again, you find a random cord that then you have to use in a steamer upstairs in order to...
There's no deductive logic operating here.
There never has been in Silent Hill. That is Silent Hill.
Yeah, so pretty much it was dumb pure luck that we found any of this stuff.
Yep.
This is the only, like, deductive reasoning that we've applied, and that's figuring out how this puzzle...
We were given a number, and we're presented with a puzzle that needs numbers. Figure it out.
Which is like a mini brain teaser. That's all we had in front of us. The rest of the game is just walking until you bump into something that you can do.
Yeah.
So we're about to crack this safe here in just a second once I figure out how to manipulate these dials best. Eric, what do you think, man? You've played Silent Hill. Is this something you'd recommend to other gamers?
I mean, if you're a big Silent Hill fan and really dig the old games, it's clear that past the first 30 minutes, like, while it's not a scary experience thus far, the gameplay is very much in line with previous Silent Hill games, which, for better or worse, or however you kind of see it, go off that. Personally, I was under the impression that Downpour here was going to be kind of a rebirth for the franchise that would keep kind of maybe some of the staples, like some of those enemy types, but kind of present it in a whole new way. And it's clearly not that. It still falls into the same gameplay trappings.
Which might, you know what though, for diehard fans like you mentioned, that might be really good.
Yeah, that might be fine. I personally expected, I think, a little bit more, something a little bit fresher.
I didn't expect anything.
Yeah,
because I've never played a Silent Hill game. So
the only Silent Hill game I've enjoyed in like quite a while was Shattered Memories on the Wii. Just because it was something completely different, and that was from like a few years back.
Well, there I have my handgun. We're actually going to wrap up the Watches play here, so follow us. I'm Joey Davidson at Twitter, at Joey Davidson.
My name is really complicated on Twitter, so I'll leave it in the article body. Hit up craveonline.com for more gaming coverage and other entertainment content, and we'll catch you guys next time.